Hey team, we're here for hamstrings and glutes today. We are taking a prolonged warm up. So in the workouts there I say take your 5 to 10 minute dynamic warm up. This is the warm up that I want you to repeat. I'm going to be using a mini loop band for the warm up only. We'll need a shallow bench today for our hip thrusts. If you absolutely have to, you can do them from the floor. I'm gonna do dumbbells only for this full workout. So moderate options, I got 15s, I have 20s. And then I have a set of 30s. I also have a 50, so you can choose to do a dumbbell pull through as opposed to glute focused RDLs. So you've got options there. I am gonna get my music back and we're gonna get it going. We've got the first superset is going to be Bulgarians. So we've got 8 weighted, 8 body weight. We're going to move to glute focused RDLs with our hip thrust. We've got cast hip thrust. We're going to stay at the top of the rep, 15 reps total, 3 rounds. And then we finish with some adductor work. Why is this not? There we go. Okay. All right. I'm going to clear my space, get a little bit room so that I can move laterally. We're going to start with inchworms. Start at the top of your mat, reach it up nice and tall, inchworm it all the way down, lock those hips in, and then walk those hands back toward the feet. Gotta be my favorite dynamic hamstring stretch. Oh, well done. We're going to move to some windshield wipers, hip openers. This last inchworm, we're going to hold here in a high plank. We're going to go big step, drop that back knee. I'm just going to hold here for a couple seconds. Get this nice hip opening stretch. Reach up nice and tall. Drop that elbow down and in. Repeat. I love this stretch because it gets both hips. Opens up both hips, so nice. Same thing, other side. Come into that down dog in between. If you need a breather, drop that back knee. Drop that back knee. You can get so much deeper into this stretch in this position. Good, good. So I want you to jump that left leg or right leg, whatever side you're on, in. Sit it into a yogi squat and just kind of press the elbows against those knees and just like work in this stretch, kind of like rock side to side. Feel those imbalances kind of melting away as you explore where you're most tight and just kind of shift that body weight accordingly. Good, good. All right, grab the top of those toes, bring those hips up, back down into a yogi squat. Good, slowly release, and we're gonna go over the log. Over the log, and bring it back. You can grab a wall, chair, or something for support. Good, switch it up. Good. We're going to come down into some windshield wipers. So what you want to do is give yourself some room for that opposite knee to come down while keeping your other knee up nice and tall. Boom. You might feel a bit more tightness on one side versus the other. Totally normal. Now, if you have your mini loop band, we're going to grab that for the last part of this warm-up. And the last part of the warm-up is just waking up the adductors. So once we get these hips open, work the hamstrings, get rid of that tightness. After, 5 minutes of walking, biking, whatever you want to do to get warm, get your heart rate up, never go into warm-up cold. Now we can kind of like wake up these adductors, prepare them for battle, so to speak. So a light to moderate mini loop band will work. Bring it up just above those knees. Now we're just going to take some banded walks. I want you to get into a slight like half squat position. Half squat, and we're not popping up as we move. We're staying down nice and low, toes are pointed straight, and we're just going to take slow, easy walks. Now I want you to force those knees out. Don't let them collapse in. That's what your knees want to do. When there's resistance, your knees want to buckle, and this exercise is going to force you to do the opposite, working the adductors. One more time, down and back. We're going to lose this band and get into our first circuit. Stay nice and low, don't pop up. Good, release that band. You won't need it again. That's a warm-up. That is a warm-up. So let's get ready for circuit number 1. Grab your shallow bench. We've got 8 weighted, immediately by 8, followed by 8 body weight. So when you drop that weight, you can go right into the next 8 without waiting. We're not pairing this with anything other than switching sides. So 3 rounds, Bulgarians. Y'all want to get mentally prepared? Take 5 seconds max, get mentally prepared, and then I want you going for it. Because the best way to get Bulgarians in is to just go for it, take action, don't overthink it. That's going to give yourself time to talk yourself out of it. Same thing, other side. Shake it out. Take a breather. Take a breather. Woo. Now, you have total control and freedom to make these Bulgarians more glute focused, maybe more quad dominant. given that this is hamstrings and not glutes, I'm gonna kind of walk you through the glute biased positioning, because I'm doing this in an effort to grow the booty, not grow the quads. You can do both. Now, with quads, you're going to need to be a lot more upright than I'm going to be in this position. I don't remember which side I started. I think it was left. We'll go with that. So, when I get into position, and my booty sprout makes it easy for me, but if you're at the gym and you're just using a bench and you've got to elevate using a plate, it's a whole setup. You want to essentially get yourself in a 90-degree position, elevate first, and then you're just going to go ahead and stand up in that position, okay, like I just did. Take a couple practice reps if needed. Practice reps, get the distance right, because if you don't get the distance right, it's going to be difficult to then get the angle right. And all I'm doing is slightly hinging in the hip. So I've got a slight hinge. I'm not folding forward. My back's nice and straight. It's a hinge. Therefore, I'm putting the stress on my left glute in this position. So all of the work is coming in the left glute, and I'm making sure I'm doing that by taking that hinge forward. All right? Just getting into the technique, the why, so that y'all can create the right mind to muscle connection, get the most out of this move, because who just does exercises for the exercises to be totally ineffective? Hopefully no one. Take a second, shake it out. Right glute is working. Oh, my goodness. Whew. Take a minute. Take a breather. If you're not feeling like you need a rest right now, I'm going to go out on the limb and say it's because you're not quite working hard enough. Because if you were working hard enough, your ass would be out of breath, contemplating this third set a little bit, and just overall needing a minute. So if you're flying through your sets, and I did this as a standalone intentionally because, number one, you don't really want to superset unilateral stuff unless it's with an opposite. So unless we were like going, opposite. Anyway, I wanted this as a standalone because drop setting, so lowering the weight that you started with or going body weight and stretching your reps is very challenging. So you should take the recovery for what it is so that you can come into this last set lifting with the same volume and intensity you've done for the first 2 sets. It's not about what you can do for a set in a workout or in the warm-up or for sets 1 and 2. It's about how well can you repeat what you just did twice for a 3rd time, a 4th time. And this is where you start to make that separation. This is where fatigue crosses over into failure. And to get to failure is the ultimate goal. So why don't you stop being scared of it, stop avoiding it, stop trying to go around it. Last rep. I knew dropping that weight carelessly was a terrible idea. It backfired. Definitely backfired. Okay. You know what? I'm actually going to keep this exactly where it's at. Superset, set number 2 is a superset. Glute focus RDLs, 8 to 12, depending on the dumbbells that you're choosing today. Now what makes this a glute focus is simply allowing that range of motion to expand. So normally in stiff leg RDLs, when we're not allowing a lot of bend here, we're gonna send the hips back until we reach the deepest point. For me, it's like right here, and start to come up. Now, I want you expanding your range of motion by coming back, and then giving me that slight bend. And that's when you start to push the hips forward. Top of the booty. Top of the booty, and yes, underneath as well. But while we stay engaged at the top of the rep, that's where you start to recruit the upper glute muscles. I'm going to swing this way. I don't know. I just feel more comfortable this way. So send, deepest point. And then we stretch it. That's 1 rep. You feel the difference? I'm going 1 more. Now I did somewhat overemphasize the slowness of the tempo. But there's something to be said for slowing that tempo way down and creating the mind to muscle connection. If you're flying through your reps, that's not happening. So slow it down, create the right mind to muscle connection, and then hold the top of that rep. That's going to give you the extra engagement. That's going to give you that control. That's going to allow you to actually stress the muscles you're looking to stress rather than exercise for the sake of checking off a fucking box. Cast. We're staying at the top of the rep. So sort of like a half rep at the top only. Boom. Keep that chin tucked. 90-degree angle. Five more. We're taking it a little higher reps because I'm working out at home and I don't have a ton of options, but I can always add my resistance there and keep the tension nice and high. But you don't have to go super, super, super heavy, low reps for that today. Roll those shoulders down and back. Neutral head, neck, spine. Now I just created the craziest engagement and control because even though I've been doing RDLs for years, I come in to that movement with the same focus as I did when I was trying it the very first time. Because that mind to muscle connection is powerful. It's easy to get into bad habits. And it's easy to stray and move from good technique to questionable technique. If you lose focus, if you allow distractions, very, very, very easy to do. If you approach every single rep as if it counts, because it does, you get a totally, totally, totally different result. Three more, come on, push. Okay. Start to think about your last progression for that move. We've got one more set. One more set. So good. If you ever feel somewhat overwhelmed in your fitness journey, I'm going to simplify. Simplifying it the best way I know how. Take it one day at a time. Don't worry about mastering hundreds of exercises at once. Try to master one compound lift every single week. Squats, RDLs, overhead presses, chest presses, bent over rows, hip thrusts. 6. You don't need to master hundreds of exercises. You need to be good at 6. Okay? And when you focus on one every single week, getting 1% better in one of those 6, you will inevitably become a master at technique, form, consistency, basically all the things you inevitably need to be successful that are within the realm of your control. Five more. Oh my goodness. My goodness. I don't know what I'm doing with these straps, but this is over. Slide it out the way. We're going to slide it out the way. Last superset. Okay. This is a brutal superset. Here's what it looks like. 10 pulses, followed by 10 clamshells, same side. Working the same side. So, body weight, it's all body weight. Takes care of the under booty. Takes care of the top of that booty. Build that shelf. Boom. Same thing other side. Take a minute, collect yourself. Get that head, neck, spine neutral before you start your pulsing. Same thing, other side. Here we go. Set 2 of 3. Good, good. Whew. Other side, here we go. Claim it out. Little recovery is coming. Oh my goodness. Quick little recovery. All right, y'all, last set, here we go. Woo! Good thing the warm-up paid off, and we were able to do exactly what we came here to do, because we primed our muscles right. Here we go. You know you can do it because you've done it twice before. Is it hard? Yup. Does that mean you can't? Nope. Last 10, last bit of work on the day. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Shake it, go stretch, eat, walk, move. Eat your protein, eat your carbs, drink your water. Slay the rest of your day. See you next time.